The night markets of Thailand are awesome. When you travel the world for a year, you see and experience so much, and we want to share our daily travels with you. Unfortunately, a hard drive failure means we have to tell the middle a little bit differently. So, welcome to Storytime with the Happy Hoppies in this edition of The Lost Episodes.
So we started the day by moving to another hotel because the hotel that we were in, the North In Town? I was confused.
One of those.
North Town Inn. Anyway, so we moved from our current hotel, which we loved, to the Rux Thai Hotel, a different hotel that we were able to get into because it wasn't full yet. It was also a nice hotel, had good Wi-Fi speeds. It was actually very relaxing. They had like a little outdoor seating area down by the check-in desk, and they had a waterfall going, so it was super nice.
It's gorgeous.
But we booked like one night at a time there and just kind of kept extending our stay. We ended up staying 3 nights. We got some work done during the day, and then in the evenings we went to a couple different night markets.
Yeah, and one of the afternoons before we went to the night market, right down the street from our hotel, there was a Thai massage place. They're all over the place, but we went to that particular one because it was close by, and it was awesome. I had a Thai massage in Thailand when I had been there the previous like 6 years ago, but Peter had never had a Thai massage because this was his first time in Thailand. And so I was like, Peter, you have to go. And that was his first massage ever. He made it to 30 years old without ever having a massage.
Still the only one.
Yeah. Hey, but it's only like $6 for the both of us. That's great. Maybe it was $6 each. I don't know. It was cheap.
It was great. They did a good job.
Yeah.
It was different. It was harder.
It was really hard. Yeah. Yeah. You're like, ow.
I mean, I don't know
ow,
what to compare
ow.
it to.
No, it's like a deep tissue massage.
Yeah, you feel very relaxed at the end.
At the end, but during you're like, ow!
So it was really fun. One of the night markets that we went to, we actually got there just before they set up. So we got to see all the vendors come scurrying down the street, just running like crazy, dragging their carts behind them, setting up really fast to get everything up and ready for everybody to come by and buy stuff. Right,
because this is a street that is used during the day, and then the police officers have to come and like block it off, but there's still like that last little motorcycle that's trying to get its way through, and then like instantly like boom, these shops are up. It was incredible to see. One of the night markets, we actually got to go to this artist's booth, which I had been to previously, and he's actually the one that did a painting of one of our engagement pictures. So when I had gone to Thailand previously, I went over, met up with some friends who were living there at the time, and they introduced me to this guy at the night market, and then after we got engaged, they went to him and then had a picture shipped from Thailand to the US, and that was so meaningful. You can just like go there and like give him a picture at the beginning of the night, and then like come to him I'm not sure if it's the next day or just later in the night, and he'll have your painting and drawing done for you. It's incredible.
Yeah, the timeline sure depends on how many people he has kind of in the queue.
Right, yeah. So yeah, amazing talent. I will leave his information in the description if I can find it.
And then on the way back from one of the night markets, we saw this place where it's like, a fish thing where they clean your feet. So you stick your feet in these fish tanks, and they got all these little minnows or whatever that like suck all the dirt off your feet.
Yeah, and we had seen them several places back in Bangkok and now in Chiang Mai, and we were hesitant to do it, but finally we're like, we have to do it. Our feet are probably disgusting after all the walking we've been doing around the world. Let's just have the fish go at it. And they did.
It was crazy. I mean, it is so ticklish because, of course, I mean, most of us are ticklish on the bottom of our feet anyway.
Yeah, it really didn't hurt more than tickle.
Yeah.
It was kind of an in-between. Sometimes it hurt.
Sometimes it'd get like a big bite of something, like sucking your skin, and you grab a big chunk. I don't know, but yeah, just all over, and they're like going in between your toes and everything. They're thorough little guys.
And then at one of the night markets, we're not sure if it was in Chiang Mai or Bangkok. Sorry, our memories escape us. But one of those, Peter really desperately needed a haircut. And so he got a haircut at was one barber, and the nice thing was they had like pictures you could like point to, like, you know, this is what I want. When you can't communicate, the pictures help. Most of the time.
So I did that, but apparently there's, I don't know, we weren't figuring out a way to translate taper or like, you know, gradually.
Blend.
Like blend.
Blend was the word we were trying to translate.
We were trying to say blend, like can you blend this? So like make it, the hair shorter on the side and then longer on top.
Because Peter doesn't have much hair on the top, that's why he normally wears his hat. Yeah. So, well, I didn't know you were going to show it. Anyways, so he didn't want a lot taken off the top. And so then he pointed the picture where there was short bottom. So what the guy did was pretty much give him a buzz cut here, but then nothing up here. And there wasn't like any blending. It was just like, boom. So I come over and I'm like, no. And I was like, blend. And like, I didn't know how to translate blend. Try to look up on Google Translate. It's not translating correctly.
So Lisa was taking pictures and showing me what it looked like because they didn't have like a mirror. Right? I guess he had a mirror you pull out every once in a while and show it to me. I'm like, yeah, no, that's not right. Like we gotta kind of blend this here. And it wasn't working. So then eventually
you went and you showed him the picture and he's like, yeah, short, long, short, long, short, long. And we're like, yeah.
But it's blended in the picture.
But short, long. Like we're, you know, like short, little bit long, little long. You know, like, but it wasn't. Anyways, translation issues. So I don't have a picture of that moment, but just a couple of days later, we did a live video in Krabi, and so I can show you that now, which is a little bit after the haircut was done, which looks a little better. Oh, Mom, so yeah, normal. Peter got a haircut in Thailand. Can you see his haircut? It's the worst haircut ever. Do you see this line? Okay, yeah, it was like 10 times worse, and the guy was like, I'm done! And I'm like,
so you did like this short on the bottom, and then it was like twice this long in this area. It was super, super weird. So
you'll see that video.
She adjusted it, but it was crazy.
It was terrible.
It was probably the worst haircut of my life. And so after that experience, the next time I needed a haircut, which ended up being, I think, in Vietnam, I just went into the barber shop and asked, hey, can I pay you to use your clippers? And I just cut my own hair.
And that worked much better.
And they let me do that.
Yeah, we couldn't travel around with hair clippers because it was not something that needed to be done on a daily basis, and we didn't have enough room in our backpacks. But if we did, that would have been a nice thing to have. But it worked just paying someone to borrow theirs.
Yeah, but that was definitely an interesting haircut experience in Thailand.
Oh, and I wanted to add something that I totally forgot about when we sat down to record this episode. So, because I had been in Thailand 6 years previous, I reached out to some people that I had met that I stayed friends with on Facebook. And we actually went to the neighborhood where I had stayed with an American family at the time, and then their next door neighbor, and then their neighbor that was 3 houses down from them. I got to meet up with them. Now, the one that was 3 houses down had currently moved, and the neighbor that was next door, she was able to take us over there, and that was just so cool. It had been a really long time, and the language barrier was definitely something that was a little bit hard because I really don't know much Thai except for hello and thank you. And they know a little bit more English than that, but not that much to be able to like hold a conversation. But like Google Translate really helped, and it was just so cool to see some friends that I had seen when I was there last. So that was really meaningful. One of the reasons that we booked our hotel only one night at a time is because we weren't sure exactly how long we were planning on staying in Chiang Mai. Back when we were in United Arab Emirates, which at that point had been about 6 weeks ago, I had reached out to Compassion, and we sponsor a Compassion child in Thailand. And so I really wanted to meet them, and he was actually pretty close to Chiang Mai area, about an hour outside the city. And they say on their website to reach out 8 weeks in advance to when you're gonna go, but like that was so hard for us to figure out because like we were not sure how long we were spending in places and all of that. So anyways, I knew when we had time, when we were back at Christmas in Abu Dhabi, we had time to kind of like relax for those couple of days-ish. I researched and like planned it out and estimated 6 weeks we would be in Chiang Mai. And so I reached out on the website and I said, I know you said 8 weeks, but we are like going such a fast pace and I know we will be there within 6 weeks. Can we make this happen? And the response was, I'm sorry, you're too late. Now, this was also right around Christmas time, so people are on Christmas vacation and all of that, so probably not the best time for me to reach out. Anyways, we really still wanted to try and do this, and so we're like, well, we know that there's a Compassion Center here in Chiang Mai. Let's go there, like an office. Let's go to the office, and I'm sure they know this child, and see if we can hire someone for the day as our translator to go and take us to see our sponsored child. And that's just not the way they do things. They need, you know, background check and all of that, which makes sense. But I had tried, you know, 6 weeks, and they said it wasn't enough time. When we get to the office in Chiang Mai, they're like, oh, if we would have known 5 weeks ago, we could have made this happen. And I said, 6 weeks ago, I said I was gonna be here. They didn't even reach out to the center to see if they could make that work on that timeline. And so I was a little bit frustrated. Still, I'm a little bit because unfortunately now that child is no longer with Compassion. He's now in monk training school and doing that with his culture. And so anyways, yeah, who knows if our visit would have made a difference in his life, you know, but either way, we're just a little bit frustrated. But we do end up seeing some of our Compassion children later on, much later on. In fact, our last country, which was Ecuador. And so we do make that happen. I reached out, I started the process 3 months in advance for that point to make it happen, but then I kept switching the exact date because I was like, well, I can let you know we're going to be there, I don't know when. And eventually it worked itself out and we saw them, but yeah. That was my vent a little bit.
Alright, that's it, right?
Yeah, I don't really like to end that way though.
Right. Obviously, the work that Compassion does is hugely important. We're so glad and very thankful, and you know, strongly believe in what Compassion does in ministering to kids in different countries and releasing children from poverty in Jesus' name. And so, giving that training, and you know, just later on when we were in Ecuador, we get to see just the way the mentors have formed the relationship with the kids that they're working with, and how close they are, and the difference that they're making in these kids and the parents and the families' lives. And so we're very thankful, and it's a great thing. And yeah, stick with us for when we get to finally visit some of our kids that we sponsor through Compassion later on in Ecuador. But for now, in the next video, we're actually gonna rent a car and take a little road trip to the highest point in Thailand. See you in the next video.
See ya.
So, going back to the night markets.
Yeah, and then your haircut at one of the places.
Yeah.